You cheeky so-and-so, that is devastating on the mouth. Hey everyone, it's Barry here, hope you're well. Do you know what these are? They are from Argentina, or apparently can originate in other countries as well, Peru, Spain, to name a few with different variations, but they're called Alfajores. I really hope I've pronounced that right, I'm probably wrong, but they sound absolutely stonking. This is our latest video on the Taste the World playlist.
Alfajores.
Alfajores. Effectively, they are sandwich biscuits or cookies. Instead of using standard plain or all-purpose flour, they're made with corn flour or cornstarch. Not only does it make it gluten-free, it also gives it a slightly chewier, softer, lighter, and gives it a little bit more strength in appearance than using plain flour. It's wedged with a
Dulce de leche.
Dulce de leche, so kind of like a caramel filling, and then that which wedges those two biscuits together is also rolled in with the dulce de leche in coconut. It sounds incredible. I only discovered this last night. I was going to be doing a New York cheesecake. But true story, I have never, ever, I've always wanted to have a New York cheesecake, but I've always wanted to make one over the years on the channel, but so far I have never done it. So I will, maybe try and sell it to me in the comments down below. I will one day make one. But this today, this Alfajores, I just saw it, I thought, wow, this looks really cool. So let's get going. All right, first things first, we're gonna cream together the butter with some sugar, and you might notice the butter has got some finger marks in it. That is because it should be at room temperature, and I just got mine straight out of the fridge. I forgot to take it out earlier, so I bunged it in the microwave. I reduced the wattage, so it's like 20 seconds, and now that genuinely is room temperature. That's the great thing with some microwaves where you can adjust the wattage. I took it down to like 300 watts and just did it nice and slow, so it genuinely is like not melted, it's nice and soft. Ideally just get it out of the fridge. In fact, some people don't put their butter in the fridge. That's a bit of a debate. I mentioned that in a previous video and the comments went nuts. And if you're wondering, I am actually in the butter not in the fridge camp, but Mrs. B overrules me, so it's always in the fridge. So in goes the sugar, so just some general caster sugar, and then this room temperature blob of butter. Now you can use a spatula, a wooden spoon for this, but I like to use ding 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 ding. Yeah, actual head whisk. You're a whisk, Barry. Alright, you might not be able to tell the difference too much, but when you're whisking it through, you'll notice it kind of goes back to almost resembling like a softened butter feel again, rather than like the coarseness initially of the sugar. Then it goes sort of spiky, but now it's gone back to sort of being a more sort of fluffy, creamy texture. Right, let's move on. Alright, so I've got some eggs here. You're probably thinking, Barry, you got a triple yolker. No, that's just one large egg, and then two extra, yeah, we went there, egg yolks. But a little bit like we said, the corn flour enhances the chewiness, so will an egg yolk. It will help to make it sort of tender and chewy, but also acts as a bit more of a binder. All right, so now we're going to take it to Flavor Town. We have got a little bit of brandy. This is of course optional, but I wanted to really go for authenticity ideally, and I assume the alcohol will bake off generally. It's more of a flavor thing. We've got some vanilla extract, and we have got a lemon. With quite a little funny bump on its head. Looks interesting. Looks like a little snowman. A little lemon snowman, yeah. If that isn't a kid's book, it's definitely coming out soon. Nice. I thought you'd get out of bed for the smell of the lemon, mate. You normally like that, huh? Alright, so we actually need quite a bit of cornstarch, and I haven't got enough. So I was bragging at the site, yeah, it's gluten-free. We are going to have to use a little bit of flour to balance this out. This is some of that super fine flour anyway, so it's not full plain flour, but it's still obviously got wheat in it, so yeah. But corn flour is one of those things we normally have loads of in the house. Anyhow, we'll bring this all together, but also just quickly add in a little bit of salt and some baking powder. See, now it looks a little bit like scrambled egg. We'll keep going. I have to say, that is extremely, it feels like, no, this isn't ready, but that is actually quite a fun, smooth dough that is almost, yeah, like silky. Not too wet, not too dry. All right, so it's actually quite unworkable at the moment. You need to chill it to get a bit of strength and stability back into it. It just smells like a massive lemon cake mix right now. But if we spread it out, because we're gonna increase the surface area a little bit, it should speed up the chilling time. That actually feels really bizarrely quite nice. Anyway, so just lay it down there. So we'll let it chill for about half an hour, maybe slightly longer if you are in a rush. Bung it in the freezer. I didn't say that, but hey, it does get me out of trouble from time to time. And just whilst that is chilling, and I said about I was potentially going to do the New York cheesecake. I do want to do one. Remember, this is part of the Taste the World playlist, so do put on your sweatband and check out the rest of them. Done loads of fun recipes today. But I've heard a bit of a thing about New York cheesecake. I want to get it right. Considering I've never had one, but most cheesecakes you have that graham cracker or graham cracker, or for us in the UK, digestive biscuit alternative whizzed up biscuit crust, right? Normally with some butter. But I've also read that some places do it with like a cake sponge. Can people... That's my doorbell. That's a perfect time in the fridge. If someone can let me know down below whether it's cake sponge or biscuit based more traditional, because the cake sponge sounds a bit more interesting. Right, I'll get the door and I'll see you once that's chilled. All right, half an hour is up, so I'll get that out in a moment. Baking parchment ready because we're gonna roll it out, so we'll get some more corn flour to dust it, and I've got a cookie cutter ready. You can use either side you want, and apparently the size is fairly flexible because we're gonna be spreading the Dulce de leche. I like the idea of having a flat edge so we can sort of brush any excess off the side so we can get a good roll in the coconut. What I'm gonna do, because I've got quite a bit of it, just halved it, okay? And the rest, I'll keep it cool. So it's a thickness of about 1/4 inch, okay? So about a thick pound coin in the UK. And I've got enough flour just on the sheet here just to dust the side there so that we can puncture the dough nice and easy. Just to mix it up, do the other side as well, that sort of crinkle look. Nice. Oh, that's lifted out perfectly. Look at that. Onto a lined baking tray. They shouldn't expand too much. And of course, we can lift the excess that we've cut off. We can bring that all back together. Obviously, if we're squishing it like this, we might want to fridge it again for another couple of minutes just to bring it back. But it is fairly firm still, so if you're quick, you'll probably be all right. But that separation like that has made it easier for me to just lift these up onto a lined baking tray like so, and I have to say they feel super light. They smell so good. Yeah, that's what's catching me out actually. It wasn't the actual lemonness in the recipe that, like, visually what caught me out was like the dulce de leche and the coconut running through these sandwich cookies. That was what's there, but right now the lemon is like, wow, this is an added bonus. All right, so I'm in the process of making some more up, but these have been in the fridge. Nice cold tray and a fairly warm oven. All right. So I'm gonna carry on rolling out those, see how many we end up with, and hopefully by 10 minutes is up, they'll come out and I'll keep rotating them, and I wanna tell you how much we get out of that dough. Oh yes! A really nice lemony scent coming through, but I still like the paleness, kind of like my British suntan. The honesty of the biscuits. And for reference, we actually made 26 biscuits from that batch of dough, so 13 pairs. Nice. Yeah, with any biscuit like this, they are really delicate at first, so never try and take them straight out. So do let them cool. I think with this one having the corn flour in it, it'll be a little stronger, but don't risk it. But they kind of look like little clouds. And they are insanely light. I think these are going to be like melt in your mouth. And we get to put two together, so it's going to be quite the mouthful. Oh my gosh. Oh, and if you're wondering, whilst they were all cooling down, because it did take a long time for all those batches, I did some cameos. A lot of people ask for birthday requests and shout outs and stuff like that. I do it on Cameo so I can donate to charity at the end of the year. So if you ever will need that, let me know. I did a couple, which was really nice to find out more about you guys. But it's now time to dulce de leche. All right, so here is the jar of the dulce de leche, and considering the amount of cookies I've got, I think I might not have enough because we can make this super thick if we want, or as thin as we like. Now, I always thought this was the same as caramel. It's not, right? Dulce de leche, and when you want to make your own homemade version, which doesn't take that long, you simmer together milk and sugar and it slowly caramelizes and forms this. Whereas caramel is made from water and sugar, as we've made it on the channel before. And there's something that I've referenced before in the past where if you go in the supermarket and get a tin of condensed milk, in fact, I've showed you on a video, you submerge it in water and simmer it away gently for a little time. That slowly heats and caramelizes the milk, and I always said, look, that's homemade caramel just from condensed milk. And you go in the supermarket and the same brand that sells the condensed milk is literally next to a tin caramel, and I've joked, oh look, it's the same thing. But actually when you think about it, if you're slowly heating milk, you're potentially turning that condensed milk into dulce de leche. I find that pretty interesting. I've got a pair of them there. Let's just pop the... Ooh! By random fact for you, since I put Rose up there, I have never, ever got it down. But we've got one upturned. This will be the base. Wow, that is a heaped teaspoon of it. And that is not going to be enough. So these are going to be extremely cheeky indeed, aren't they? What I like about these as well, it's almost like got like slight Rolo vibes. I want to see some Dulce de leche Rolos. All right, I think I'm going to add one more teaspoon in there, or like maybe half, okay? Just to push a little bit of height on this. We rest this on top, all right, and then gently push down. Remember, these are quite delicate, so if we just push like that, we want to get it, there we go. So we've got it just touching the sides. That way, the coconut will all grip. But I hope you agree, it looks a bit like a flying saucer of some kind. Of course, I've seen many in my life. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? I might do another one a little bit thicker, so maybe 3 full teaspoons, but just play around with it. I mean, you've got to admit, that is quite a bit there. It's kind of an interesting thing of what to do. It's completely up to you how much you fill it. When I saw photos of these, like, wow, I was blown away by like a real thick band of coconut, which would probably be even beyond this biggest one that I've done. But just as a comparison, this is one where I've put 2 teaspoons in, all right? That is so much thinner. As I just picked one of the biscuits up, it was still a bit delicate, so it fell apart, so I want to try one. Wow, that is a phenomenal thing on its own. A lemony melt in your mouth. And obviously we normally use cornstarch for like a thickener, right? It's almost like the moisture in your mouth. It kind of makes the cookie break down and sort of glaze the inside of your gums and like push the flavour around your mouth. So it doesn't just melt away, it just kind of like clings on there like a sort of cookie sauce. That's incredible. That is on its own, even just dunked in a bit of chocolate or the dulce would be awesome. Oh, dulce de leche also translates to sweet milk, by the way, so I wish I kind of looked back and understood that, but yeah, hope you like my facts today. They're probably all wrong. So I've got some desiccated coconut here. So let's go with one that I'm fairly happy with. This is one of the first ones we've done, the first thick one, all right? So we're just gonna kind of like drive it along into the coconut, and that coconut should just stick to, oh my gosh, that looks amazing. Did you see that? Wow. And I know there's probably a lot of bias towards New York cheesecake, but I've always been inquisitive about foods, folks. That's probably why I still do my channel. I didn't know about these things till last night, and now I'm really excited, and I hope you guys want to try them. Look at that. Kind of looks like an ice cream sandwich, but you've got these 2 lemony biscuits, the insane amount of filling, and now some coconut to make it look slightly more angelic, perhaps. I'm over the moon with these. But in all seriousness, the biscuits alone are amazing. You don't get any of that alcohol taste, so I'd imagine you could probably just admit that. A lot of you would probably ask that. Just admit it. Oh, that's my last of the 6. And just to show you, I've used the bulk of that jar. It's a 450 gram jar. I could probably get 1 and a bit out of it. So it might be cost effective to make your own homemade, but just make sure you get that consistency right. There's loads of recipes around, or like I say, just simmer up some condensed milk. There we go, folks. Oh my gosh. Yeah, okay, stop it. Just eat it. I'm going to take the smaller one, just because I think the filling is just going to spill out, and there's still a lot in there. There's 2 teaspoons in this one. You cheeky so-and-so. That is devastating on the mouth. Oh my gosh. I was like, this is going to be way too thick. And I'm not going to rule it out that those might be, but what happens is the dulce filling, the dulce de leche, merges and kind of dampens the cookies. Like I was saying before, how it's like melt in the mouth and it swirls around. I think the moisture that's already in there sort of accelerates that, and it sort of fuses all together into this more soft creaminess. You're getting a still slight lemon scent. The melt in the mouth is there, but it's swirled and combined with this dulce filling. And the coconut, I didn't really taste it, to be honest. The texture was there, but it was all about the cookie working with that filling. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is one of my favourite playlists to do because I find it so fascinating. And I think that's the thing about food. It's just always, you just find out about new different things, right? The other day I discovered fish fingers. So good, like amazing. Alfajores, more like Alpha Glorias. Sorry, I don't know where I was going with that. Check out the rest of the Taste the World playlist. Keep suggestions coming in, like I say. Thanks so much for the support, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Alfajores, 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 alfajores.
Alfajores.
Ooh, they're very light and lemony. Oh, they're nice.
They are, aren't they?
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
I've never tasted anything like that before.
I know, it's awesome, right?
That's amazing.
I actually...
Oh, the like caramel and the lemon, it all goes really well
It does,
together.
doesn't it? I actually enjoyed the biscuits on their own just as much, but in their own unique way. Okay, you know it's good when Mrs. P just eats. So, conclusion, try it.
Wow.